Yo, yo, yo. What's good, folkers? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're at in the world. Snapzilla Gorilla. Welcome to the Definition of Anarchy. So, Anthony Fauci. Anthony Fauci did an interview a few days ago, and I think he was speaking to a UK somebody. It doesn't matter. What's important is what he said. What he said was, you know, Americans have this sense of freedom and, not being told what to do, blah, 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 which is great. But sometimes good just to do as you're told. Well, you know what, Mr. Fauci? No, fuck you. I'm not just going to do as I'm told. That's not what the American spirit is about, right? And the only reason I say American spirit is that's what everybody understands it as, right? I'm talking about the freedom spirit, the human spirit, which is ultimately a yearning to be free. Excuse me. The human spirit yearns to be free. The human spirit does not want anybody telling them what to do. Anybody with that spirit, the spirit of freedom, does not want to be told what to do. And everyone has that deep in their hearts from childhood. You understand? That's why at a certain age in childhood, you start to test how much freedom you have with your parents. And, the parent is the ultimate authority. That's the only legitimate authority that one human has over another, is a parent to a child. But even with that, children constantly test their limits of freedom. You understand what I'm saying? And it's your job as a parent to guide them in the right direction, to help them understand what the difference is between right and wrong, and how to be moral, and how to work hard, how to fight for things, how to be fit, how to be healthy. There's a number of things that we teach our children as parents. And the number one thing we should be teaching our children and instilling in them is that spirit of freedom. When oftentimes when I talk about freedom and what it really is, people laugh, people get angry, right? When I try to express what true freedom is, and when I walk and talk in freedom, people get upset. Why? Because the cognitive dissonance that is clouding their brains short circuits all the synapses within their brain, right? When you start to express freedom towards someone who suffers from cognitive dissonance, a statist who puts the state before individual freedom, their brain get all discombobulated. They don't understand it. You understand? And they're going to have to come into it on their own. All you can do as a freedom lover is continue to push the message of freedom. You cannot give up. You can't give up pushing the message of freedom. It has to be constantly on your mind. It has to be constantly moving past your lips. Every conversation you have with another human being who doesn't stand on freedom, every conversation you have with that person, freedom has to enter into it. If you're a true freedom lover, you can't stop pushing freedom to a statist. You can't. It's impossible for me. Every time I talk to people, my friends, my family, even other freedom lovers who I feel are not 100% there yet, I have to push that message of freedom. I have to give them examples to help them understand what that is. And there's always examples. There's always examples of individuals that are trying to strip you from your freedoms. And they'll use euphemisms. They'll use lies. They'll use pathos. They'll pull at your heartstrings in order for you to give up your freedoms. They do it constantly every day. CNN, Fox, ABC, NBC, right? The World Health Organization, the CDC, all these organizations and individuals that call themselves authorities, they will constantly push to strip you of your freedoms. And there's always an example. There's always there's always a way to push freedom on the people who haven't gotten there yet. So I can't have any other random conversation with people without that. I just can't. I can't talk about video games. I can't talk about books. I can't talk about anything without that entering in my mind. Without me, I know this person right here. He calls himself my friend. She calls herself my friend, my family member. Yet they're on the fence in regards to freedom. They can't get there. So I'm going to push every day, every hour. And you know what? I've helped people cross that precipice. They're on the precipice of freedom, right? And once you push them over the edge, they can't go back. They're seeing it. They're talking about it. They're pushing it. I see it all the time. Some people aren't going to get there, but that doesn't mean I'm going to stop talking about it. If you want to have a conversation with me, guess what? I might talk about freedom, and your brain might short circuit because you don't understand what true freedom is. You don't understand what self-sufficiency is. You don't understand what true independence is, individualism. Because this is what people misunderstand about freedom. People think freedom is blissful, like it's some euphoric thing, like, oh, I have true freedom. Now I'm on cloud nine. I don't have any responsibilities or any wants or cares. No, that's not what it is. Freedom is dangerous. Freedom keeps your head on a swivel. When you walk and stand in freedom, you're constantly on alert, because you know at every turn someone is coming after your freedom. And if you want true freedom, that means complete and utter excising of the system in your life. And when you excise the system from your life, things can get very uncomfortable. Things can get very uncomfortable. Like, you can't, that means you have to stop living off the government teat. You can't get anything from the government. You can't get anything from the system. Because if that's what you believe in, you know, that's what it is. Once you get your reparations from all those years of paying those extortion fees, because that's what you would need. You would need reparations, because you put your blood, sweat, and tears into the system. Your time and laboring energies you put into the system. You need that back when you exit the system, so that you have a foundation with which to start a new life. But once you get those reparations, that's it. You're done. And it's going to be very uncomfortable, because they're not going to help you build anything. They're not going to help you raise food. You know, you can trade and whatnot with people within the system privately, because that's your right, and that's their right. You know, but other than that, as far as the system is concerned, as far as all this socialism that they're pushing on the people right now, when Joe Biden becomes president of the United States, we're going full socialist. Dude, one of his advisors wants to shut down the country for 6 to 8 weeks. And during that time, he wants to give us free money the entire time to replace the income that we were getting, to play bill, all this other shit. And guess what? We're going to get comfortable with that. Like, wait, I ain't got to go to work? I ain't got to go to work and they'll pay for everything? They'll give me free money? Hell, I don't care if it lasts six to 8 months. And that's what's going to happen. They're going to give you free shit for 6 to 8 weeks. And people are going to get comfortable. They're going to be like, you know what? Let's extend this. So now it's going to go from 6 to 8 weeks to 6 to 8 months, where you're getting free money from the government. But here's the kicker. That free money has to go through the state now. Joe Biden wants the money to go through the state. The money goes through the state, and then you have to prove to the state that you deserve some of that stimulus money. I think that's one thing that they're working on, but we'll see. So Fauci can suck a fat one. Sugar-free. Fauci can suck a fat one. You don't tell people to do as they're told. That's not your duty or your job to do. It's not your duty to keep people safe. It's not your duty as the government to cover people's health care, to protect people. That's not your duty. It's the people's individual rights to ensure that they have that cracking, that they ensure their own freedom, they ensure their own protection, their own health, and their own pursuit of happiness. It's not up to the government to provide these things for you. It's up to the individual, because if you leave it up to the government, then there's all kind of caveats and all kind of conditions and hurdles and hoops and shit you got to go through just to receive that from them. So imagine Joe Biden becomes president. You want to get that free money to cover your expenses, to cover your pay that you were getting. Get a test. Get the test. Get the crack scene. Get this. Get that. Everything you're gonna have to go through hoops. You're gonna have to follow all these steps in order to get what you feel the government should be giving you. But it comes at a price, and that's the price. Testing, circuit tracing, contact tracing, crack scene. They're gonna want you to take all those things, and they're gonna want that for your children too. You're not just gonna be able to get that free money. There's gonna be conditions piled on top of it. So, at next year, 2021, that's gonna be the year of choice. I see it. You got to make a choice next year, because that's when they're going to wrap everything up. That's when they're going to do the reset and all that. They want the great reset to crack. They want to change the way economy works. They don't want anybody to own anything. They want this one world government, right? No more ownership. That's the key to this. No more ownership for individuals. They don't want individuals to own anything. They want to get rid of capitalism, right? They want to demolish the free market. They want to trace all your purchases, right? They want to be able to control all the money that you have access to. Next year, you're going to have to make a choice. So what are you going to choose? Are you going to choose freedom, which is going to be uncomfortable, dangerous freedom, or blissful, peaceful slavery? You got that choice to make. Y'all know what I choose, and I'm ready to be uncomfortable, and so is my family. Peace.